Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Just Danny Show. This tonight is going to be about the incumbent candidates running for City Council seats 1, 3, and 5 in November. Seats 1 is currently Michael Gonzalez. Seat 3, of course, is the mayor's seat, which is Tim Murray. Seat 5 is Michelle Pines. Last night I did an intro on the candidates running against the incumbents, so you are already aware of who is running against what I like to call the idiots. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So we'll start with seat 1, Michael Gonzalez. We are all aware of who he is as a person, not intelligent, and I'm not being snarky or assholey right now about that. I legitimately think this man is an idiot. That's right, I said it. He is an idiot. Word salad after word salad comes out of this guy's mouth. I'm going to go ahead and play a couple of clips. Just to, if you're new here, just to introduce to you your seat 1, Michael Gonzalez word salad moron. Take a look.
Well, one of the biggest takeaways that I've seen right now is that because it's not a congressional, what do you call it, or a presidential vote, I'm trying to encourage everybody to get out there because a lot of things are on the line that people are interested. There's a lot of growth. There's going to be, there's possible, roads and traffic issues and things like that.
I'm kind of on board with the same thing with the mayor's side. We try to spread everything around instead of being in one centralized place. I mean, it'd be great if we could, but with land being so short. Can we also, the other tennis courts, could you put lines on it as well? Just to kind of give the citizens options to go from one location to another location. I mean, because at Keeler, right, I understand, because I've been there, that, one team is playing tennis and the other one's playing pickle. They actually get along. And I've been there, but whoever gets to the court first. And so if you was to put more lines at the other courts, that would be great. In addition to having transitioning and converting Felter to a full pickleball court, that'd be ideal. And then, as with the mayor saying, phases and so forth, we want to look again at the arc and adding just 6 courts, no lights, but just 6 courts. That would give us additional 6 courts at a less price. Then we have more money later and in phase, and we can add additional lights. Make sense? Yes? Yes. You agree, Mayor?
Yeah.
Again, I mean, can I be an asshole? Sure. Am I opinionated? Hell yes. But I can, with 100% fact, tell you this guy is an idiot. And I actually cannot believe that he ever got voted in to begin with. And then what I'm about to tell you is an update on these incumbents. Again, starting with Mr. Michael Gonzalez here. So last night, he had his first campaign fundraiser, which I put this on my Facebook page. Some of his, as Michelle Pines likes to say, heavy hitters that hosted the event. Sean Park's name was on the flyer. Darren Johnson, he would like to think he's a heavy hitter. And then, of course, Angie Langley was on there and Carrie Baker. Quite frankly, I spoke to a few people in the Republican Party, and they feel like Carrie Baker probably wasn't even aware that his name was put on that flyer. This happens a lot. This happened actually, if I remember correctly, a couple years ago with Murray's campaign fundraiser flyer. There was some names on there, and they were not even aware their names were thrown up there, at least out of their mouth once confronted. They were like, I don't even know why my name was on there. I didn't even know it was on there. So I think this may have happened with Carrie Baker. I talked to a person who's very, very good friends with him and said, I doubt he even is aware that his name was put up there. And if his name was put up there by, knowing that it was put on there, it was probably like, hey, Carrie, we got a Republican candidate running for city council. Can we throw your name up on here? And he may have said, sure. But I don't honestly think, from, like I said, talking to someone that's really good friends with him, and then just my opinion, I really don't think that he understood the whole picture of this candidate and him putting his name up there. I just think he kind of just got thrown in the mix. But anyway, it was held last night, 5:30 to 7, although he shut it down early because he got his money, and so he bid adieu. But it was at Roasted Spirits. Yes, we had people there watching. So here's what went down. So initially, within the first 30 minutes, there may have been 4 people. Maritza was there. And for those of you that have been in the city of Clermont long enough, know that she used to previously work for the city of Clermont. So I found that kind of interesting that she was there. And Darren Johnson, of course, was there. And a guy from the Clermont News Leader was there, of course, because they're going to film it all or take pictures and put him in this gorgeous light. And we'll get to the whole evil plot of the city and how they weaponize the media for themselves. But so it was just kind of chill initially. Sean Parks was nowhere to be found. Of course, Kerry Baker was out of town, so he couldn't have been there even if he was aware and wanted to be. But Sean Parks never was a no-show. P.S. also, by the way, David Wallace was on that flyer. Of course, whenever he can buy a candidate, he's there, like State Farm. Maybe even wearing the khaki pants. Anyway, so it wouldn't be till later on that more people flowed in, and would be David Wallace. He ended up showing up later on. Angie Langley made a brief appearance, waved her hand, and then she split. And then what I found interesting was that probably not so much interesting is our own Mayor Tim Murray and his basketball head wife showed up, and they stayed for about 45 minutes. Now, you're probably going, oh, well, he's the mayor. He probably has to show support for his fellow council members. No. Why do you all think that Murray was there for 45 minutes? It wasn't to give him a check. He needs his money. That's why he always runs for mayor. He needs that extra $600 to pay for his car payment. But why do you think he was there? Well, I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. He's there to rub shoulders with the Republicans, because he too wants money. He's campaigning again too, right? So he's using off the back of Michael's campaign fundraiser for his own benefit. I mean, we're not dumb, Murray. We know that's why you were there. Again, it wasn't to give Michael a check. Or was it? I don't know. We'll see. I doubt it, though. So that's probably why he was there for so long, because he wanted to get chummy and get in with the developers. Because as you'll remember, 2 years ago, developers like whores threw money at Murray like he was a stripper, really. Just threw it at him. He garnered like $22,000 2 years ago for his campaign. So he's there probably just checking up on some of the developers that showed up over there at Michael's little soiree, just to see, hey, you still ain't gonna still give me some money? Am I still your boy? So I think that's why he was there. Did he get some checks while he was there? Well, that would be pretty. I don't give a shit about Michael, I don't. But I think that was kind of shitty of him to show up if that's in fact what he was doing at Michael's little party, was trying to get his own fucking money. But I digress. So a person noticed the list, as in, who signed and so forth. And at one point, when I checked in, it was about $4,000. And then after later on, they said that it came up to maybe about 16 people ended up showing up. So they surmised that he probably got about $7,000 tops last night. So he has hit the ground running, and kudos to him. And I'm going to tell you why I think this is going on. Also, he got his, and I knew this, and Michelle, P.S., by the way, has already got her fire and police endorsement as well. So he got his little POPO endorsement and his fire endorsement, and good for him. Who gives a shit? I don't know if you all care, but I certainly don't care if the POPO and fire endorse you. That endorsement means shit to me. It just does. They know where their bread and butter comes from, and they're going to butter it. and give you an endorsement. So that's, again, no diss on either one of them, those agencies, but they're not dumb. They know who to suck up to and give an endorsement to. The people that are going to be lining their pockets come budget time. Give them their bright, shiny toys, like I said last night, and their increases in their salaries. So once he got all of his money and got, and made his little announcement of his endorsements, he closed shop probably about 30 minutes earlier than he should. So the people that were there said probably he got about $4,000 to $7,000 last night. So again, I'm not sure what Allison Strange has done thus far. I guarantee you she probably doesn't have that much raised yet. She hasn't even had a campaign fundraiser. But I told you guys last night that these incumbents, because I think they are nervous about who's running up against them, they have to hit the ground running and running fast. So they have to get themselves out there. Now, concerning Michael's race, I'm going to spend probably most time tonight on Michael because his race is very convoluted, and we'll get into it why. And I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this from these people. Don't care. We've already fought over the phone. You know who you are. We've already fought over the phone. So honestly, folks, what's happening in Clermont is people in Tallahassee, your state representative, as in plural, are getting involved in Clermont's races. Now, I've told this person point blank this past weekend via a text, and I'll just say his name, Yurkowski, hi, that he was sticking his dick in Clermont's Kool-Aid and he needs to get it out. What happens when people can't mind their own business and mind their own, their own races, if you will, political races, and get involved in ours? They convolute it. They cause division. And I'm not quite sure, and I can't 100% tell you that I think that might have happened with the whole Carrie Baker and David and Mark Jordan situation. Is that Tallahassee button in that situation? Maybe. Can I prove it? No. But I 100% am telling you fact that Tallahassee, Yurkowski, is sticking his dick in Clermont's Kool-Aid. Why? And again, point blank, I texted him this weekend and told him to basically keep your dick out of our Kool-Aid. This only causes problems. Now, do I believe that Tallahassee, as Republicans, I'm talking about the Republican Party here, as Republicans should help their local folks in the races? Sure. Endorsements, PAC money, helping with door knocking, stuff like that. Absolutely. I think that they should get involved in that capacity. Anything outside of that, stay the fuck out of our business. Stay the fuck out of our business. You don't run Clermont. Here's what I think. I think he doesn't get enough clout in Tallahassee, so he has to come down here like a peacock and spread his little pretty feathers and act like he's big boss because everybody's like, oh, it's a state representative. It's a state representative. It's Tallahassee. So I think he gets stroked down here. His ego gets stroked. And so he's trying to run Clermont and micromanage Clermont instead of minding his own business and deal with his own bullshit up in Tallahassee and help run state. He's too busy dipping his dick in our Kool-Aid. And I don't like it. And I called him out for it. Of course, then I was accused of bringing him in. No, I didn't bring you in, sir. I asked for your help with the corruption, which you failed miserably at. And I told you this right on text. So nothing I'm telling you folks isn't what I didn't already tell him. So I'm not talking shit to you right now. And he failed miserably. A lot of times when state representatives get in as their first year, they're called freshmen, right? He likes to tout himself as a freshman. And they don't want to ruffle feathers. They don't want to piss people off. So they're not going to try to do anything their first term but sit there and be a blow-up doll. because they don't want to ruffle feathers and they want to get those votes for their second term. Then their second term, then they'll start doing things. So this is the mentality, at least of this person, it's the mentality of this person, and which I think is absolutely disgraceful. I didn't vote for him. And I don't even remember the other guy I voted for 2 years ago. He was the attorney guy. Real nice man, met his wife. Young man, I should say. He's probably in his 30s. I didn't vote for Taylor 2 years ago because I saw the writing on the wall with him. Then I gave him a chance later on, and he failed miserably. But I digress with that. I don't want to get off in the weeds here with y'all. But 100% Tallahassee is fucking with Clermont's race right now. 100%. So with that being said, don't think for 1 minute that the Democrats in Tallahassee aren't fucking with us too. We just don't know, or at least my party isn't really aware of what's going on because we're not Democrats. Pretty sure Murray's party is fucking with shit too and trying to help Murray. Hopefully they're on the up and up. I doubt it though. And maybe just giving him endorsements and PAC money and so forth. But this just goes to show you that the state does get involved in local races and they try to manipulate things and they just need to mind their own fucking business. Again, short from endorsements and money, mind your own fucking business. And True Now, I believe, is involved as well. And when he gets elected, if he does get elected, I think it's going to be even more of a dibble-dabbling stick in his dick over here in Clermont as well. Clermont is very bright and shiny for the state because we're, the largest city and Lake County. And so they're worried, and rightfully so. They should be worried that we're going to be turning, or we're already probably purple. And so Clermont is, is a prize. And basically to these political parties, and they want Clermont. Eustis, Leesburg, those are just piddly ass little cities, but Clermont is like the big mama of all the cities, right? So we're on their radar. So why wouldn't they get involved in our races? But again, they don't need to. So I think if True Now gets in, you didn't think this was going to be more than just a local podcast, did you? I think if True Now gets voted in, he, together with Yurkowski, are going to be controlling Clermont. I think it's horseshit. And in comparison, let's look at Sabatini. Some of y'all might not like him, and that's your prerogative. That's your opinion. Does he help with PAC money and endorsements and phone calls and, door knocking? Sure. Sure he does. He doesn't, he's not up in the state level anymore as far as, state rep anymore, but he's the chair of the Republican Party. So he has some power, right? But he minds his own business. He'll help with endorsements, like I said, and door knocking and mailers and all that, and donate where he can. Even if it's from his own private pocketbook, he will. But he stays out of our shit. He's not causing division within the Republican Party. And that's the problem with the Republicans right now. Again, I'm a registered Republican. Am I embarrassed about that? Here lately, I'm getting real embarrassed because of all the infighting going on. If we would stop infighting and get our shit together, we could outdo the Democrats, even on a national level. But we're too busy infighting, like this thing with, Jordan and Kerry. That's bullshit. It's all bullshit, but it's infighting that people, in my opinion, like Yurkowski and True Now, trying to stick their dick in local races, causing division, they're the ones mucking it up and causing the fucking problems. Mind your own business. Do you like Gonzalez, Yurkowski? Great. Good for you. Did you drag Sean Parks into this? I know you did. And Sean, you and I don't get along. Personal experience between you and I. Did I used to like you? Sure. Until I realized you were no better than someone talking out of both sides of their mouth and can't get your shit together with what you told me last time to what you're going to tell me today. Again, personal experience. I don't talk shit about people unless I've had a personal experience. And then again, it's just my opinion, right? My personal experience. So I'm sharing my personal experience with y'all on this. Sean Parks got drug into it. And he's county. County needs to stay the fuck out of Clermont. Again, unless they're endorsing, giving us money, helping us with our road issues that we share, because they own the road, stuff like that or whatever. If it's a county road, and helping us out in that way. But as far as our elections and how to manipulate them and cause division, stay the fuck out. Keep your dick in Lake County's Kool-Aid. How about that? People confronted Sean when they saw this flyer for Michael. Again, spending a lot of time on Michael tonight. Sorry. His name was on the flyer, right? Which I just spoke earlier about. Now, why was it on the flyer? Because Yurkowski told him to, pretty sure. Pretty sure. Why was Angie's name on the flyer? Well, Angie was steering the bullshit 2 years ago and told Yurkowski to give Michael money 2 years ago when Yurkowski was just a candidate himself. So it's people like this, the good old boys, and with her, the good old girls, manipulating candidates. So that's why, and it's all on the campaign treasury report from a couple years back. You can look it up. Yurkowski wrote him a check for $500. I called him out for it. I called him and I gave him shit about it. Why didn't you give Todd money? Well, I can write him a check too. Now, did he? I don't remember. I don't think so because it was really late in the game. Didn't give me money. He said, "Oh, well, I can give you $500 right now." And I said, "It's too late. The election's next week." So while I think maybe Yurkowski started off meaning well, he couldn't deliver, in my opinion. And now he's just convoluting our politics here locally. I don't like it. Angie Langley's involved in it, and then Sean Parks is involved in it. Now, when people were calling Sean Parks out this past weekend, once that flyer got put up, I think it was on Friday, on regarding Michael's campaign fundraiser, there was a lot of attacks on Sean, and rightfully so. I was one of them. I text messaged him, and I said, I think you're fucking up. You and I know don't get along, but I think you're fucking up. And in those words, because I don't care. So I think he got attacked enough. Maybe that's why he didn't show up last night. But his excuse to several people, not just one person, was the fact that he put his endorsement behind Michael early because Michael is basically doesn't throw the county under the bus. Remember how I always used to say this when I had inside Clermont? I said the county and the city just don't get along. They're always throwing each other under the bus. So when Murray got in his first term, he thought he would be the savior and come in and arrange this. Okay, the second Tuesday of every month we'll have just to make a bridge of communication between the county and the city. We'll invite Sean Parks in to give us an update on the county. Let's work together. Let's open up this line of communication. And while it looked good on paper, how often does Sean Parks even show up for that? I think he misses more than he does show up to talk on that second Tuesday of every month. But I digress with that. But that's why Sean put his weight behind Michael early before he even knew who was running against Michael. Again, bad politics. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Sean? Why would you do that? Why would you put your weight behind him before you even realize who's running against him, which is Allison Strange? So there's a lot of uncomfortable awkwardness going on right now within the party. Because Allison knows Sean Parks, Allison's, for lack of a better term, spouse knows, Brett Jones knows Sean. I mean, everybody knows each other. They all work together, the Lake 100 group, all this stuff. So it's becoming very awkward, in my opinion, to even watch this go down. It's like a house of cards just falling. And I think a lot of people, particularly in this race, are going to figure out who their friends are real quick. Because again, like I said last night, it's going to be real interesting, especially Michael and Allison's race, because they're both Republicans. And they have to draw the line somewhere. Are they going to go with Michael, the mush brain idiot boy? Again, not being an asshole. I'm not. He's dumb. He is dumb. Are they going to go for him because he's easily manipulated because he's dumb? Or are they going to go and do the right thing and go with the person that they've known forever, longer than Michael, and know that she's super smart and she knows the law? She has a law degree. So this is going to be a very interesting race to watch with popcorn in hand as to who it's going to be divisive. Because Yarkowski started it. He started it, drugged Sean Parks into it. Angie was already part of it 2 years ago to get Michael in. We all know this. They're going to have to pick sides. And it's awkward. It's very awkward and uncomfortable to watch, but it is what it is. So, basically, is it Team Michael or is it going to be Team Allison for the Republican Party? And I'm calling on you, higher up Republican people, Sean Parks, Yarkowski, who are you going to go with? Are you going to pull out and decide that choice Michael was wrong? And Sean's only backing him because Michael is nice to the county and doesn't give him shit. He didn't say shit, but he's very cordial. He's very professional. He's the only one that basically, in a nutshell, doesn't throw the county under the bus. That's why he likes Michael. And use the excuse, well, I didn't know at the time who else was running. Well, this is why you don't give your endorsement, ding ass, to somebody until you know who is running. Case in point, I'm going to give Sabatini props again. When I was running 2 years ago, I reached out to him like the day that I said I was going to run, or I made the decision I was going to run. I called him and I asked him, hey, when the time comes, can I get your endorsement? And he did the logical, smart thing. He said, well, who else is running, Danny? Who else is any other Republicans running? And I said, I don't know at this point. He says, well, let me wait on that and let's see who else is running. I didn't get mad. I thought that was the smartest thing for him to say. Because especially if another Republican was going to enter the race against Murray. I mean, obviously he wasn't going to put his weight behind Murray, but he's a Democrat. But what I'm saying is he played it smart, and as he should have. Sean played it stupid, and now he's dealing with the consequences from angry people. Can you take back your endorsement? I doubt it. Should he have given it early like he did? No. But who are you going to go with? You going to pick Michael or you're going to pick Allison? Again, Sean wasn't there last night. Maybe he was out of town. He didn't show up though. But the usual players were there with their usual checkbooks, $1,000 a pop. And you know how that goes. You know how this story plays out. Wallace is going to be there because he wants to buy himself a council member. Darren Johnson was there because he wants to buy himself a council member. I'm sure Schmid, with Schmid Construction, he's going to write him a check. I'm sure Steve Smith's going to come write him a check at some point. It's all the usual players. Now, here's the interesting fact. 2 years ago, Murray got inundated. Like I said, money was thrown at him like he was a stripper doing a pole dance with a thong. Anyway, 22 grand. I think it's going to flip this election, and I think Michael is going to be the golden boy. Michael's going to be Murray this year. Michael's going to walk off with that 22 grand. And again, not because Michael's smart, not because Michael's good at what he doesn't do, because they want to buy him like they bought Murray 2 years ago. Do you honestly think that those Republican developers gave to a Democrat because they thought he was smart and they liked him? Again, I know it's a nonpartisan race, but do you think that a Republican would cross party lines and throw money at Murray, a Democrat 2 years ago, if for nothing else, for their own lining their own pockets? And that he could be easily manipulated? Let's throw money at him. Here you go. Here, bitch. Do that thing on the pole. Come on. Stripper. I'm your daddy. I mean, this is what they did. They all met in a basement like little heathens down in the basement, hugging Murray's neck, throwing cash out and checks out. Darren's in there like, taking pictures. And it was just a good old time. And then when I took those pictures, which were fair use, Oskin, and put them out there and wrote an article and showed them, I started getting threats because they were embarrassed. They were embarrassed that they were having those pictures put out like that. They were in a basement at a party for a Democrat. How dare those pictures get out, especially put out by me? They were embarrassed. But this is what developers do. They're greedy, they're slime balls, they're scumbags, and they're pigs. This is what they do. This is what the Wallaces do. This is what the Johnsons do. This is what the Schmids do. This is what the Steve Smiths do. This is what they all do because they want those developments passed. Delicious. And the Shiras. They want those developments passed, and they want to do it in private in a basement. So Michael is going to be the new Murray. This is my, people always say you have a crystal ball. Maybe, I don't know. But this is my forecast. Michael is going to be the one walking off with the most money this election. Again, not because he's cool, not because he's smart, not because he does a good job, but because he is stupid and he is easily manipulated, and they see him as per, and they got the Dominus Ominous, from Yurkowski, give this guy money. This is what they do. Stay in Tallahassee, mind your own fucking business. Michael's going to be the new Murray. And then Murray is not going to end up with half the money he did 2 years ago. Mark my word. Because they're going to leave him in the dust. They're going to leave him in the dust. And his opponent is Rick Van Wagner, who, when he ran years ago and sat in council for 2 terms, he took developers' money, which is totally legal to do. Totally legal to do. So they probably would rather throw money at Rick than throw money at Murray because he's a Republican. And they're going to give him the money because they're familiar with him from years ago. And so I think most of the developer money this year is going to go to Rick, and they're going to fuck off Murray. Murray's going to be broke this year. Mark my word. This may or may not age well, but I have a feeling it will age very well. And Michael will be the 22 grander walking off this election because of all the divisiveness, the people sticking their dicks where it doesn't belong, and the controlling aspect of it all. Because there is a man behind the curtain, y'all. And if you think that there's not, come out from under your rock. There is a man behind the curtain. And I know who the man is. And I know who, I should say the men are. Just told you. So we'll just see how that goes. Maybe he'll start out strong and then just, fizzle out toward the end. And then Allison will swoop in. Who knows? Don't know. The right thing would be to do is to vote for Allison because she's the better candidate. 100% the better candidate. A dog could do a better job than Michael up there. And speak coherently. Is it his fault that he's dumb? Maybe not. I don't know. Genetics? Didn't pay attention in school? I don't know. But he's dumb. And I just call shit like I see it. Maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know. He's got to be semi-nice to these people. He takes their money. He gets them to spend thousands of dollars on them, right? I know the Republican Party is not backing him. Not Team Sabatini. Not Team Sabatini. They're not backing him. Team Yurkowski is backing him, but Team Sabatini will not back him. That's 100% fact. That's not bullshit. That's not my crystal ball. That's 100% fact. Team Sabatini will not back this idiot. So that is going to be a divisive race within the Republican Party. So congratulations, Tallahassee, for sticking your dick in Kool-Aid, and Lake County for sticking your dick in there with the other dick from Tallahassee. Moving on to seat 3, Tim Murray. Again, I've mentioned Rick Van Wagner is his opponent, but that was yesterday's podcast. But Tim Murray, I actually kind of went into Murray initially on Michael's little thing I just said. But Tim Murray is, he's going to do the same playbook as he did 2 years ago. They've already made a post. Larry Suspenders Oskin, who, and I'll take a lie detector test. I'll sign an affidavit. I don't give a shit. He physically assaulted me 2 years ago at the Hobnob event at the Performing Arts Center. He threatened me online. used a dead woman's account. That was hilarious. And then used his own email account. But I digress. That cuckoo, he is once again going to be Murray's campaign manager. So what does this mean? Same thing it meant two years ago when Larry worked for the South Lake Tablet. But we didn't find out till much later on that he was actually Murray's campaign manager. And South Lake Tablet actually tasked him with doing interviews with all the candidates. And he reached out to me, of course, because I was a candidate, and I thought it very strange. And then later on, I learned, well, oh my gosh, like this guy, Larry Askin, is Tim Murray's campaign manager. How inappropriate is that for him to be doing a story on me or any of the candidates, really, because that's conflict of interest. So he says that he left South Lake Tablet for his own reasons. I heard that he got fired because of this conflict of interest, because enough people were pissed off and wrote in to, unfortunately, her name is Michelle as well, and told her about it. So, fact, who knows? He's no longer there. But guess where he is now? You know, he works for Clermont News Leader. So what's going to happen again this election season? What's going to happen again? He's going to write bright, shiny articles all about Tim Murray. He is going to utilize Clermont News Leader to boost his buddy. Now you might say, well, that's what you do, Danny. Well, I, first of all, don't work for an actual newspaper. I don't get paid for anything I do. I don't run ads. So I don't work for an employer. So what I do is what I do. I expose people's shit, work within the confines of the law to do it. And I don't work for an actual newspaper, an employer, and then use what I'm doing on the down low, which is a campaign manager for somebody, and then use my employer's newspaper to boost my candidate. Do you see how that's wrong? That's wrong. That is wrong. Because he works for like an actual company. So that's wrong. And and I'll stand firm on that. I think it's wrong. And I think the people that run Clermont News Leader should see that's wrong. And I'm giving you the heads up, it's going to happen. Larry's going to write a bright, shiny article all about Murray, just like he did 2 years ago, the South Lake Tablet. He wrote a bright, shiny article about Tim, bright, shiny article about his basketball head wife, right out of the gate. So like clockwork, you should probably see an article, bright, shiny article, propping up Murray from the Clermont News Leader probably within the next couple of weeks. Because that's what they do. That's what the city does. The city weaponizes the media and the CPD, but we won't get into that. To manipulate, harass, and intimidate the public. Well, in this aspect, with the council race, they're using the media, their buddies at the media, Chuck Seaver over at South Lake Tablet, people like that, to push their agenda. And their agenda is Tim Murray. You're going to see Tim Murray on the city's page a hell of a lot coming up. Again, it's like clockwork, just like 2 years ago. You watch it, he'll be putting out hurricane and information, and you should have your batteries and all this stuff. Like, they're gonna put him out. They're gonna give him a bunch of airtime, like they did 2 years ago. They're gonna put him out in your face. They haven't the last the last year or so, because he's already in, right? They wait till election time to just push Murray in your face. Again, he'll be doing those hurricane announcements. I don't know. They'll probably put him up there for if you have to boil your water again, he'll be up there making the announcement. They're going to give him every bit of airtime. They're going to put Chuck Seaver at South Lake Tablet, and Larry Askin's already going to be working on his own anyways with Clermont News Leader, and they're going to put them up to writing bright, shiny articles about Murray. And probably Michael. And probably Michelle. But more so Murray. So why are they desperate this election season? Well, we know why they were desperate 2 years ago. We won't get into that. Why are they desperate this election season? Well, because Goes right back to 2 weeks ago when you saw Todd Howard up there wanting to terminate the city manager, because the city manager knows that his job is at stake. And he will do anything, illegal or not, again, can't get into that, illegal or not, to ensure that his candidates get into this race. And if that's going in cahoots with a state representative, then that's going into cahoots with the state representative. If that's going into cahoots with the media, then that's going into cahoots with the media. If that's putting him out there all over the city Facebook page for hurricane adventure warnings, then that's what he's going to do. Do you guys see what I'm telling you? I'm not making this shit up. I'm not just doing this for dramatics. I'm not giving you misinformation. If you're smart, you'll be picking up what the fuck I'm putting down right now. Bull Tice is desperate. You saw me go up before public comments when he was touting Michael Gonzalez all around Kingsridge like a whore, flaunting him like a whore, and whoring him out to Kingsridge. Going so far as to say, and I put this out there, I put it out there, his words, not mine, it's printed right out in the minutes, that he was excited because this is now his jurisdiction. Kingsridge is his jurisdiction. Now he's writing for the Councilman's Corner in the Kingsridge magazine that goes out every month. He took over for Jim Purvis. You guys awake yet? Because he needs Michael. He needs Michael in there to keep his fucking job because he knows Michael won't fire him. He knows Murray won't fire him. We saw Murray and Michelle both show their asses 2 weeks ago when Todd put it on the table. They swooped in like they were trying to save a drowning child. And just more so Michelle. I mean, she berated Todd for what, like 20 minutes, 15 minutes? She went on and on and on till I wanted to vomit with her long, pausey voice and blah, 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 blah. You saw it and I saw it. They both showed their ass. They will not fire Bulsack, and Bulsack knows it. So Bulsack is trying to be strategic and stick his dick in our Kool-Aid and trying to manipulate the race. So you've got Tallahassee and the county trying to manipulate our race. And then you've got Bulsack and his little team of flying monkeys, Scott Davidoff, trying to manipulate the race. If everybody just stayed the fuck out of it and stopped trying to manipulate illegally and using fucking shitty retaliatory tactics. I vet people, sure, because you guys need to know about these candidates. That's how I stick my finger. I don't have one of those ding dongs. That I stick my finger in because I want you to know what's going on with the candidates themselves. I don't manipulate illegally and weaponize shit and agencies and all this to get people elected. That's not what I do. So don't even think for a moment to compare me to these pigs. What I do is I just simply vet candidates. I pull their public record, do it within the confines of the law. Do I get opinionated about facts? Yes, because first and foremost, I am a taxpayer and I am allowed to have an opinion. And that's the beauty of not having to work for somebody and get paid. I do this out of the kindness of my heart for the community. If you either love me or you hate me, and I don't care either way. So don't even attempt to compare me to them, because I don't manipulate shit. I just put facts out there, and then I give you opinion on the facts and who I'm going to vote for and why I don't think this person. That's what I do. But they completely manipulate and get involved. And they shouldn't, because the agencies that they're with, the cities should not be getting involved at all. But they do. And it's gross. And this is the evil plot that they're doing. They're all working. I don't even know if it's together at this point, because they're all doing it for their own special interest. This is about special interests. Every election really is about special interests. The people that donate to you, the people that help you. It's for their own special interest. I have no special interest other than giving you the truth and the facts and having you vote with common sense. I have no special interest. I don't make money from anything these people do or don't do. But these other players, they do. Baltice is in on it because he wants to keep making his money. He needs to pay for his house. Davidoff needs to do it because he needs to pay for his house and his 2 phones. And Baltice has 3 phones. And of course, developers do it for obvious reasons to line their pockets. Right? Tallahassee folks do it just for power trips because they don't have the power up in Tallahassee. So let's come down to a local municipality and play cock of the walk. I can get my ego stroked down here. So Murray is probably going to obviously get his $500 from the Democratic Party. He's going to get his little $25 checks from Myrtle down in Lincoln Park. He's going to get maybe not get Paula Hoisington's money. What did she give him last time? Like $100 maybe? $200? She's pissed at him because of the whole community center thing. He hasn't come through to Lincoln Park with the community center, and he's not. That's not going to happen. So she was pissed off a couple weeks ago and chewed him out during, I think it was public comments about the community center and how she wants it on a workshop again. Well, it's been on a workshop like at least 3 times that I know of, and it's a waste of fucking time because Baltice doesn't want a community center. I 100% know that for a fact. He does not want one. And that's the only thing I agree with him on. Because I don't think the city tax dollars should be going to a community center when we already have one that we pay for. We don't need a second one. And again, I don't want to get in the weeds on this, but Murray's definition of a community center is a vocational school. He needs to look up the definition of what a community center is. But I digress. But I don't think you're going to see him bring in much money. I could be wrong. The developers could come out for him again and play. But I think most of the developers are going to throw their money at Rick. Just my 2 cents. We shall see. We shall see. He's not going to be victorious and get $22,000 again this year. No, I don't see that happening. Moving on. Now we're going to round this up with seat 5, and then I'll let you go. Michelle Pines. I'm a lunatic Michelle Pines. Her, again, I discussed last night, her opponent is Bill Peterson. Here's another interesting one, right? They're both Republicans. This one isn't going to be as contentious as the first one. This isn't going to split really any Republican down the middle. Do you know why? Because Michelle Pines lost all of any bit of integrity that she ever even had, which I don't think she has 1 ounce of it in her body. But I digress on that. But she lost her footing with the Republican Party when she raised your millage rate. Or I should say our millage rate. She lost the Republican Party right there. Because again, I said last night, Democrats raise taxes. Republicans do not. Or they shouldn't. Democrats are tax and spend, not Republicans. She signed an oath with the Republican, I think I got it over here. What was it called? Republican Liberty Caucus. Here's a printout, not of the one she actually signed. But she signed this when she joined the Republican Liberty Caucus 2 years ago and wanted to get their endorsement and their money and all that. And again, it says right on here on this oath, put my readers on here. I thought maybe I could read it without them. So it says, I, and then blah, 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 pledge to the citizens, and then the office that you're seeking, which would be like City of Clermont, to restore liberty, not restrict it, shrink government, not expand it. And here's the part where she fucked up. Reduce taxes, not raise them. Abolish programs, not create them. Promote the freedom and independence of citizens, not the interference of government in their lives. And observe the limited enumerated powers of our Constitution, not ignore them. You know what Michelle thought about this after she signed it? That's what she thought about that. Because she lied. Got it all on video for you. You'll see all this stuff I'm going to be throwing out over the next 6 months. Again, Not malicious. I use their own words, their own video clips, their own audio clips against them. So you can make a better choice at the polls in November. And within that oath, she also violated, because what did she do to me? She filed a false police report against me for cyber stalking, because I am heavily political in the area. So that makes me responsible for the fact that she gets spam emails. Again, cuckoo, cuckoo. So you got a cuckoo liar running against another Republican. So how is this going to fare for her? Well, 2 years ago, she didn't garner that much money. I believe it was just about $7,200, $7,000 around there. And her opponent was Chandra Myers, a Democrat. She garnered just, I think I mentioned this last night. So what was it, like maybe $3,000, barely $3,500 at best. And she almost beat the pants off of Michelle. Michelle was nervous 2 years ago. She almost lost her ass. She made a little over double the amount that Chandra did. And Chandra almost beat her ass. I think there was a 1 to 200 votes difference. That's pretty good. And Chandra was really a nobody. Did she sit on the code enforcement board? Sure, but no one knew that. If you never got in trouble with code, you wouldn't even have gone before her. So you wouldn't have known that she sat on the code board, and who cares? What? So she was a complete nobody, Democrat, running up against a Republican, grassroots. And she almost lost her ass. And that's before all the complete crazy came out in Michelle. Did she raise your taxes? Yeah, she raised your taxes. She voted to raise your taxes prior to the election. So that might have fucked her a little bit. Probably a lot of it. A lot of it. But for the most part, I have not heard anything really good come from the mouths of people in regard to Michelle, especially the Republican Party. They can't stand her. At least Team Sabatini can't stand her. Now, what is Yurkowski going to do about Michelle? I don't know. Quite honestly, I've never had a conversation with him about Michelle. Not sure how he feels about her. He's never really mentioned her. So we'll see. Is it going to be Yurkowski's people? Because it's definitely not going to be Sabatini's people. I'll tell you that right now. 100% fact. Know that. Know that. So this may or may not be a Republican divisive campaign between the two of them, Bill Peterson and her. I don't know. I'm probably 95% sure that neither team in the Republican Party is going to help her out. I don't think she'll get the Republican endorsement from either camp. It's pretty sad that we've got a divisive Republican Party, right? Oh, Republicans need to get their shit together. We're just going to keep losing. Anyway, yeah, that's how I'm going to call that race. I don't think she's going to get any help from the Republicans, whether it's Team Yurkowski or Team Sabatini. I just don't see it happening. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. And I think Team Sabatini will probably more than likely endorse Bill Peterson. They have to. It's a Republican. Republicans tend to have to endorse. Well, I guess they don't have to. I guess they could stay out of the race completely. But I don't think Sabatini will allow that to happen. I think he's very hands-on as far as endorsements and help go. He's not divisive and sticking his dick where it doesn't belong. So I think that they will probably put their weight behind Bill Peterson. Now, money-wise, will Michelle raise more money than Bill? Just on her own accord from developers? Shira's going to swoop in. Shira's definitely going to swoop in and give her at least $3,000 because of his separate LLCs. So I think she'll see about $3,000 from Shira on his LLCs. I think she'll see another $250 to $500 from all these Michelles, worse than all these Brians. I think she'll see another $250 to $500 from Michelle Shira, Lee's daughter. I think she's definitely going to see at least $500 coming from Darren Johnson. I think she's going to see at least $1,000 coming from Wallace. So I think she might top off again this year at around the 7,000 mark, maybe just below it. I don't see her getting any more than that. If anything, she might get less than that, but I don't see her getting any more than that. I'm so not really worried about her money situation as far as that goes. Now, is Bill Peterson going to be able to pull that kind of money? Honestly, I don't know. I've only talked to him a few times. Great guy. I think that regardless if he makes the money, like 10 grand, which is usually kind of the baseline that you need to run a decent campaign. Of course, this election, I think people are going to need a hella more than 10 grand because it's so contentious. And again, the Republicans up against Republicans and the divisiveness going on, I think they're going to need a lot more money. But just normally, in general, they always say about 10 grand. But I don't think that money is really going to matter per se in that race. And just hear me out, because Bill Peterson lives in Kingsridge. He is going to get the Kingsridge vote. I mean, hands down. He just is. This is how those big communities operate. Just like Otis, the piece of shit that he was, he took Heritage Hills. Todd lost his ass in Heritage Hills. Why? Obviously, because Otis lives in a Heritage Hills. Duh. So, with that being said, Bill is going to get Kingsridge. I mean, you can probably bet money on that one. Because of what he does for a living, he will earn more than likely Heritage Hills, and he will also earn Summit Greens. And if he gets all three of those, Michelle's done. Now, why do I say this? Because he's a pharmacist. He does clinics in those residential areas. They all know him and they all love him. So, he's an older gentleman. Heritage Hills tends to have the older community as well. I believe so does Summit Greens. He's going to get, I honestly think he's going to get all three of those. And if he does, Michelle's done. Michelle cannot win. Not if he gets all three of those. There's no way. She could take all the downtown, which she was out at Juneteenth. Did you see that? She did her little speech that I'm sure she memorized and regurgitated. And was she at Juneteenth last year? No. Was she there the first year? No. Why was she there this year? Because she's desperate. And she wants that vote. And you know what vote I'm talking about. She wants the black vote. Why else would she be there during election time? That's what's going on. 6 months. This thing is going to be 6 months worth of campaigning. It's going to be tiresome, grueling, probably going to be shit you don't even want to see or hear, but it's all going to come out. I wish the candidates luck, not the incumbents, because they're pigs and dumb. But it's probably and nothing I'm gonna do. It's gonna be all on their own. Words that they've already said, video clips, audio clips, written text. Michelle. But anyway, it's gonna get ugly, and it's not gonna be pretty these next 6 months. And just be ready for it. But at the end of the day, in November, when you go to fill in that bubble, please use your brain. And please pay attention these next 6 months. Like I said, I'm going to have that round table. You're going to hear from Rick Van Wagner himself. So those of you that have preconceived ideas about him, he's going to share his truth. You're going to hear more from Bill Peterson, some of the cool shit that he's done that I didn't even know about. He never said anything to me about it, but I learned just this morning. And then, of course, Allison's going to share her wisdom because she does, she's super smart. So we're going to have some fun things coming up that's going to help you, to educate you, to make a better decision come November. Okay? And there's going to be some stupid shit coming out about the incumbents. Again, to help inform you to make a better decision come November. So I hope you use your brains. I hope you stay tuned. I hope you stay awake and you pay attention, because we need good people in there. We need good people in there. Let the people that have worked really hard rest easy and retire officially, because that would be great. I'd love that. And I'm sure my haters would too. So that being said, until next time, and I'll keep you informed of when we're going to do that roundtable. We're working out schedules right now with everybody. So I'll just stay tuned to my page to any updates and anything else, and all the fun shit I'm going to put out there about the incumbents. It's going to be bumpy. Peace out.